We are having a slow and peaceful fall day, starting with a little bit of care around the house, getting a few things pulled back together. I'm starting with cast iron. I get tons of questions about cast iron and how I keep it seasoned and keep it from sticking, and this is my number one tip beyond the initial seasoning is every time I use it, I let it dry completely on the stove or in the oven, and then once it cools enough that I can touch it, I drop some coconut oil in it and make sure that I get any excess out, but cover it in coconut oil or some type of fat so that the cast iron doesn't dry out, and it gives it a nice pretty sheen, and that is how I keep it from sticking and nice and clean. And then I just stack it up on our stove. Now I also am putting away some books. I found each of these books for a couple of dollars each, and when that happens, you just have to stock up. Some of these are not quite what I normally would pick, but we're gonna give them a chance. I have been reading a ton, and I know come this winter I'll be reading even more. Of course, I had to throw a Southern Living cookbook into the mix to try out a few new recipes during this heavy bacon season. Now every once in a while, my little Aladon likes to have a little girls' night, and this was actually in the middle of the day. As soon as Jack went down for a nap, we got out some new nails that a friend at church gave her, some Elsa and Anna glue-on nails, and turned on the Samantha American Girl movie. It's on YouTube. Isla and I both really like the American Girl books. She has a couple of American Girl dolls, and now she has I think they're called the Bitty Baby books, which is like the baby doll version of American Girl. We just finished the first book in the Samantha set of books, and so we had to watch the movie, and she actually really liked it. It's a little bit above probably her level, but she sat and watched the whole thing. And of course, I did her nails, which she immediately pulled off after.
Let me see. Yeah, you want pink? I'll see what I got.
I love my fingernails. This one right here I love. My mama did this for me. This one me and Mama did.
We're slowly but surely working our way through the pumpkins. I have several still on the porch and a couple around the house still to cook, but we are going to cook up these little pie pumpkins. I don't know exactly what type they are. So I am cutting these in half and then scraping out the seeds, chopping it into smaller pieces so that it fits well on my baking sheet here, and roasting them at 450, maybe 475, just until they are a bit browned and soft.
this little pan over here.
And let it roast.
Yes. Let it roast. Good job.
I get on a seat down and they get on a spoon. Because I don't like it. Good. I'll play games. No. Here's another boy. Here's another one. Here's another.
You're getting a real dose of honesty here. I am so behind on laundry. I don't know what has happened. I'm normally a laundry every day kind of person to keep it going, and I'm not always the best at getting it put up, but I usually can keep it washed. But lately, I just have not. So I am implementing a new system, and that is laundry baskets. I started with just 2 for the kiddos, and I'm thinking I'm going to get 1 for Keith and I, or 1 each for us, because my problem with getting it put away comes from the fact that most of the time when I'm doing laundry and I have a second to do it, Jack is in his room napping, and so then I can't put it in his room in his dresser. So we're going to start with these baskets so that I can just have them out, sort the clothes, get everybody's put up that I can, and then have the kids' clothes ready to go whenever they are up from nap. Now here's my rug. I went ahead and shampooed it against everything that I read on the internet that said you should not. I shampooed it with my little handheld, and I have no issues. It dried really fast. I hung it up outside to dry. It dried really fast. The colors didn't fade. It didn't change anything, so I'm probably going to take the big shampooer just to get it really good and clean, because I'm not sure I got every spot with my smaller one. Throwing it back to an old-fashioned fall. We do this every year, and so this is the first time of probably many this season of going out to where all the leaves are. This is the only tree so far that there are enough leaves for this falling and hitting the ground, and raking them all up and letting the kids run through them. Last year I did this for Isla, and I actually have a video here on my channel of her playing in the leaves. Jackie was so little, he just laid on the little fall quilt out in the yard. But this year he is old enough to play, and he loved it.
One, two, three, woo! Woo!
Look at Mama.
I'm doing this.
You got leaves in your hair.
Oh, gosh. One, two, three, go!
We had 2 events for Halloween, and we are not big Halloween celebrators. I don't love the holiday. It is just not my cup of tea, but with kids, they love it. And Keith's work puts on a big Halloween event, and we go every year. Isla dresses up with whatever theme that his department is doing, and she helps hand out the candy. So we take her around, let her get her own candy, and then she sits and helps them hand out candy.
Can you just smile and be friendly and stop being rude to me?
Coming here now? You better stay. We'll be the only ones still standing. We'll be we got a whole bucket full of candy for her, too.
I know it may not look too different to y'all, but I wanted to share a few shots of our farmhouse with more windows in. We have just a few more to go, and I will show you the final shots of that here soon. But here's our living room. You saw the dining room and the kitchen. This will actually be a laundry room and bathroom. So we have just a few more windows to go until all of the windows are in and we are moving on to siding. I am so excited. A while back, my preacher's wife and I were talking about sourdough, and she said that she doesn't make it often enough. And so what she does is just freezes her sourdough starter in like little ice cube trays. So it's about a tablespoon each for this tray. And then when she wants to make sourdough bread, she just pulls one out, thaws it, feeds her sourdough starter, and uses that entire thing to make the bread. And then she has more to go in her freezer. And if she needs more, she never uses the last one up. When she uses all those, she just thaws one out and feeds it however much and then refreezes that starter. So I did this a while back to save my starter because I wasn't making a lot of sourdough. And I am taking one out, thawing it, and feeding it so that I have some sourdough on hand. We will be having a holiday market here soon with my church ladies, and I always bring sourdough bread. So I'm going to try and get that going. We'll see how it does. It bubbled up really nicely immediately with feeding, and we'll see if I can get back into the swing of sourdough bread making. For supper, I'm going to be making some pizzas, homemade pizza. I don't do this very often, but it is one of our favorites. I do my regular bread recipe, but I don't add the eggs or the butter, and then I take out a cup of flour. By taking out the eggs and the butter, I'm taking out about a cup of liquid, so I take out about a cup of flour to accommodate that. So I'll put the recipe below. I'm getting that mixed up, adding my liquids, which is water and olive oil, adding in my yeast, and then my flour, and then my salt last, and just kneading that until it passes the windowpane test. I'm doing this by hand today. and doing a few stretch and folds as part of the kneading process. I usually just knead it in my stand mixer, but I wanted to give the stretch and folds a try for something like this with a yeast spread. I'm gonna let that rise until doubled, just like I do my bread, probably a couple hours.
They're not sourdoughs without the yeast. Commercial yeast is obviously yeast. So, baking powder. Baking soda,
Now I got this new cookbook. I think I showed it to y'all. And it is from the Southern Lady Cooks. I've talked about them on here before. They have a blog, social media, you know, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And their recipes are like what I grew up on, comfort food, at least the types of foods that it is. And their recipes are just really good. I don't always make them exactly how they have it, but regardless, I kind of put a farm spin on their recipes. Today, we are making their Lunch Lady Brownies because I got their new cookbook and I needed to test something. And this is something that I had everything for already. Their cookbook is so good. It has some of the favorites that are on the blog. For example, these Lunch Lady Brownies are on their blog. I'll link that blog post below, but it's also in their cookbook, and they have a few that I don't believe are on their blog. I am a cookbook person. Whether you have a blog or you put your recipes on the internet for free somewhere, if you put out a cookbook, I'm probably still gonna buy it. Even if you put all of the same recipes out on your blog or on your social media, I don't care. I like having the physical cookbook copy. It is just something I enjoy, so I went ahead and grabbed this one from them. Like I said, I'll link this Lunch Lady Brownie recipe below off of the Southern Lady Cooks website. Now for our pizzas, I am kind of working with what I've got here. I didn't have anything specific to pizza. We are big breakfast pizza fans. I had bacon in the fridge. Of course, we have eggs from the chickens, and I really needed to use a bunch of eggs up. So I am gonna fry up some of that bacon, chopping it up really small, fry up some scrambled eggs. We also occasionally, when I make this, will just crack the eggs right on top of the pizza and do them like a fried egg. And if you don't overcook it, they get so delicious because it's runny. And so sometimes I put like a gravy on this, and that kind of keeps it from being dry. This night I didn't do that, and I did the scrambled eggs, so there was no extra sauce type of component like the egg yolk, the runny egg yolk, or the gravy. But I loaded this pizza up with cheese, and it was delicious. This pizza dough recipe makes 4 regular sized pizzas, or you could do probably 8 personal sized pizzas. One of these I made a really thick crust. 2 of the smaller ones I did a really thin crust, and then I did a regular crust. So that's what I like about this recipe. You can get that really deep dish, almost pan pizza that's really thick and bready. You can get the really thin, crispy, almost cracker-like crust, and you just have to use the one recipe. On the personal pizzas, I made those for me. I did a margarita style pizza. I first put down some olive oil and then some fresh sliced onion, and then some canned tomatoes, which is never as good as fresh, but we're working with what we have. And then I topped it off with Italian seasoning and salt and pepper. And I'm just doing a regular old cheese for the kids. That's what they like. And so we can accommodate that when this crust makes so many pizzas. Now the way that I do this is I get my big cast iron pizza pan hot in the oven at 500 degrees. The other two, I have a smaller grill pan and a regular cast iron skillet. I will either pop those in the oven as well or just heat them here on my eyes on my stove, my burners, and then put the dough on, get the toppings on, and then I put it in the 500 degree oven, or you could set your oven to broil. And the fact that they're hot will kind of start helping with the baking process, especially if you have it on a turned on burner, and then pop it in the oven, and that gets it really, really crispy and browned on top. It is just so good. This is our last Halloween event, and we are ending the holiday at church. Isla this time was Minnie Mouse. She dressed herself, and Jack was just Superman again. They had bounce arounds, and there's always games, and they always do popcorn and cotton candy and contests and all kinds of things. And so we went and stayed for a little bit and let the kids play. And now Isla has told me that for her birthday, she needs a bounce around. That is where she stayed the entire time almost, and she just had a blast.
Same duck. That means 4 more. Oh, 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay. So cute. Like, that's not so bad. You don't want it? You like that? What do you got?